Hi everyone and welcome to this YouTube video. In today's video we're going to talk about the recap between Japan and South Africa playing this weekend, which was a phenomenal game. Japan losing against South Africa 41-7.
Yeah.
Daniel, what do you think about the game?
I think it was a good game. I really want to start off with Japan, giving them credit, coming out, actually giving South Africa a go.
Yes.
The scorecard might not reflect it fully,
Mm.
but I really think that they gave us a go. They had me scared in the second half at some point. I didn't think they'll come back and win the game fully,
Mhm.
but I think the score was 27-7, and they really had 20 minutes of great rugby.
Yes.
They kept us at bay. They were on the attack fully, and obviously the game started off with a bang, taking it wide, breaking the line, actually scoring opportunities. I just think South Africa was better clinically with defense and turnover and possession, which was good to see that our boys came out and showed their class and showed the BMT that they can have in crucial moments.
Yes.
I heard someone calling it the first asset test, the second asset test, meaning that they withstand an attack, a base attack on their line, defending well.
Yes.
And so I really think I give Japan credit for what they did and how they played. And I know you like to talk about the Frontstein and Andre Pollard, what happened there in fly-off. So what do you think Frontstein performed yesterday?
Yes, so Frontstein was the replacement for Andre Pollard at 10, which was quite a shock for me. I don't think he's gonna play him at 10. I think he was. I thought he was gonna rest Dialenda a bit and then put Frontstein in inside centre, which we saw him actually play for South Africa quite. His career through for South Africa for the Springboks, he's been playing inside centre, not fly off. He can play fly off, not for me the best. Definitely not the best, even in the team. I think he didn't play too bad yesterday. The one thing that I feel he doesn't do at the moment, or which he can actually improve in, is just to make the decision on an attacking point of view. For in a fly-off position, you know what? If you get the ball at fly-off, do you want to go for a crash ball? Do you want to pass? What do you want to do? Do you want to kick? Because that pass he made to Mapimpi, which actually got a turnover for Japan, and they actually did score a try from that incident. That for me was he was giving a hospital pass out.
Yeah.
He didn't know he wanted to do what he wanted to do. You could just took the ball into a rock format, you just take it down, get into contact, and that would have been fine. So for me, not the best decision, but I think just giving Andre Pollard a bit of a rest.
Yeah.
He didn't. His kicking conversions wasn't that good yesterday between us and Japan. So I think just giving him a rest for then.
Yeah,
Which is fine, and then
sure.
Elton didn't even play, so I think
Yeah.
he's well rested for that New Zealand
Ready-
game.
ready to
He's
come
ready
on,
for
yeah.
that. So yeah, after all, not so bad decision. I think Frontstein did hold up his weight, figuratively as well. But the one thing I think yesterday that we really played well against Japan, and what we did well is getting the ball to the wings.
No,
Okay.
that's actually nice to see. And in the spirit of the game, you obviously want the speedsters to score some tries. And
Yes.
that's why they're there. They're there to finish off and running from 20 meters and dot it down and celebrate very well. And
Yes.
hats off to Makazola with his hat trick.
Yes.
Jason scoring 2, and then obviously Yankees coming in the third try with the open play. And so really well structured tries. Makazola had 3 running tries. Like he had some work to do as well.
Yes.
I would just like to see him not hand off from the ball side. Obviously, when the winger runs, you want the ball on the outside and handing
the
off from
outside,
this
yes.
side. So schoolboy rugby errors, but that they can fix. And then obviously Colby with his sidestepping and his class,
Yes.
and obviously
Class.
the intercept try.
Pure class.
Speed to burn. That's good to see. That's good. That is good to have speed and someone you want to give the ball to at the ends at the ends of the field.
Yes.
And that's actually poetic. Obviously, with Chester Williams passing away yesterday from heart attack, and South Africa's winger scoring 5 out of the 6 tries, I think that's very poetic and it's very nice. It's another gesture because we didn't plan it that way.
Yes,
But
no, of course not.
I think it's very poetic and it's very nice that it happened, and it's a good memory. Good day to memorize him on as well.
Definitely.
And our hearts go out to Chester Williams' family, and we're thinking of you, and we're praying for you in this time.
Yes. Definitely.
But nonetheless, a very good, solid performance from the back line, and very dominant in the backs.
Yes. The one thing I think what like you said about Mapimpi just handing off or just holding the ball in the wrong hand, We played it against a top team. Japan is 10th in the world ranking, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely, one of the top 10 in the world. But if we played against New Zealand in that way, you can't take that against. If Mapimpi played against, had his opposition was Ben Smith, you know,
Yeah.
or Ricky
or
Ioane,
someone
or someone
was
like that.
such- oh, yeah.
You can't have the ball in the wrong hand. So
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. That's something he just needs to focus on. Hopefully, some of the coaching staff just said to him, you know what, maybe the in another hand would be better.
Yeah.
But I think the wing scoring was really great. Like to see the running rugby. Like to see Villing getting into the attacking line, which
Yeah.
he does very well. I know. Just we'll drop the link below the previous video we did just before the match. I said I would rather pick Warikaland before
Yeah.
Valileru. And Valileru, you showed me wrong
Yeah.
there. I think he did play very well. Vali did play very well, and he's ready for the test against New Zealand, the opening match for the world. Well, not the
Yeah.
opening match, but the opening match for us, definitely second match, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, the Wings having a good game yesterday. What do you think about the fetches? Which we saw did not only Dwayne Fetch yesterday, or Peter Steff actually, or CL, but what about Malcolm Marx? Who do you
No,
think?
I think we have all round fetching mentality.
Mm.
They dropped a video earlier this year about Kwaga teaching the boys how to fetch, which was quite nice.
That's-
Because me
that's
playing as a fetcher as well in my younger days, so to speak.
So to speak.
I loved seeing the fetching aspect of it, and I love seeing guys fetching the ball well and doing it to perfection.
Mm.
And I think actually Japan did it well. They didn't convert and turn over that much balls in the loose play as they would have wanted to, playing someone like Lapis and Mafi and
Yes.
Leach, who's well known to counter ruck and steal. So Japan let me down in that aspect. But we accelerated in that aspect again. Seeing that Malcolm Marxon steal the ball. Stephen Kitshoff had 2-3 penalties blown against him, but he was still in the contention position of
Yes.
stealing the ball. I actually think the only player who did not try and go for a ball was actually Frans Malherbe. I think Mostert will
Yeah.
give you a turnover. Etzebeth will give you a turnover. Peter Steff will give you a turnover. Even Franchelo coming off the bench. RG coming off the bench. They all have that quality of stealing,
Yes.
of going over and getting a turnover. And that's what I like for us, because that gives you more possession and more time to put someone like Colby away from a turnover
Yes.
play, and Makazole Mapimpi away from a turnover. So it definitely changes the game, and you have to defend against it, because someone has to make a plan to stop you from stealing the ball.
Yes.
So definitely Japan can do better in that aspect. I think a focus point for them going forward in the World Cup, for sure. And then we did well, but we can still step it up.
Yes.
Peter Steff, come on, catch 2 interception balls,
Yeah.
50th test, well done to you, man. But catch it, and then next time go score a try for us, man. But well done, well, good game. So
Yeah. No, I think we did play very well. But even just from the game's perspective, what do you think Japan could have just see beforehand, before the World Cup? What do you think they can improve on? Because they play Russia in the opening match. Definitely a good match for them. Russia's 20th in the world. Japan is 10th. We know a couple of weeks ago that Italy thrashed Russia. So that might be a confidence booster for Japan, knowing going into this game. What do you think they will improve in the game to come, the opening game?
So I just think the defense out wide.
Okay.
Because obviously Mapimpi had a jaw out there.
Yes.
He walked in one of the tries.
Yeah.
And the cross defense wasn't up to scratch, up to par. But I think Japan's attacking their flair. They showed us for that the one time in 5 minutes they passed behind the back passes and offloads.
Oh,
and so
yes.
they have flair.
Mm.
Definitely a dangerous attacking team.
Yes.
Just a bit sharper on defense, trusting the player inside you,
Mm.
and obviously trusting the player outside of you. Man-to-man defense, stick it, shift out wide, just a bit away, and take the X factor. Because that one chip over the reserve, Tony, I can't remember his name. They actually chipped it over, and he just had to take it, and he would have beaten Vili on a step,
Yes.
and he just knocked it out. So stuff like that coming off obviously changes the game.
Definitely.
So I don't think they have much to improve on, only defense-wise.
Mm. I agree with you there. I think they really played well. The one thing that was for me quite a shock is I thought they would be better under the match conditions. So in the 60th minute, I could see the boys was really they were breathing heavily, and it was because it was 34 degrees. It was humid. It wasn't the playing conditions we are used to. But that also begs the question: is Japan going to be playing better rugby against nations like Russia, that is a much colder nation, or I think it's much colder, or even maybe England or Wales coming in, getting into extremely hot weather, extremely humid. How are they gonna adapt to this match conditions? And I really think Japan has a upper hand on that factor.
Yeah.
So the one thing I think Japan also did very well yesterday is their fly off controlled the game very well for me.
It was good.
He was
very good.
He was very good in the back line. I feel I completely agree with you on the side, on the outer sides of the field, the wings. The defense needs to be better, but I think that on the attacking side, the fly off did play very well. Pretoria Born, I only found that out yesterday. Quite cool. Can't pronounce his name. Just have to say that as well. Excuse me, but I really think he played very well. So yes, the last thing we just quickly want to talk about is what about the fumbles that SA made, the Springboks made yesterday. I feel there was quite you mentioned the two that Peter Steff knocked on. There was a couple actually happening yesterday. It was quite a match of knock-ons. What do you think about that? Even from Japan's side.
Yeah, there was definitely not the prettiest match of clinicalness, of
Yes.
passing that either coach would have wanted. But I think it also contributed to the heat and obviously being more sweaty hands and ball being wet and then passing, the clinical passing has to be effective. But I think your world class player in a world class tournament, this is stuff you should overcome. And the stuff you should prepare. So, when there's a stoppage in time, wipe your hands.
Yes.
And, obviously it sounds easier than it's easier said than done.
Yes.
But I think if you're a world-class team, you want to win the World Cup, you have to overcome stuff like this.
Yes.
And you can't blame the heat for being the reason why you knocked on. But if it's like new combinations and stuff, like Franstein coming in at 10, that definitely shows me that he doesn't have the confidence to give it to Damien yet in that way, or JC in that way, or Lakanya in that way. I understand it because it's a new thing, new combination, new test. And if it's like a stupid bullet pass, understandable. I remember Damien in the midfield getting a bullet pass a bit lower than he expected.
Yes.
And so stuff like that, stupid mistakes, world class players should eliminate. Definitely something that we hope isn't a factor in the World Cup. That this will be remembered for all its knock-ons and all its scrummaging. So
that won't be the
that
best.
would be nice. It would be nice to remember. Yeah. But then otherwise, guys, I think New Zealand beat Tonga 92-7, and South Africa obviously beat Japan 41-7. So who do you think is more ready for that clash in the World Cup? That is the question of the day. Comment down below in the comments what do you guys think. And then obviously like and subscribe to this channel. Press the bell for notifications. And then we will see you guys in the next video sometime next week dropping.
Yes.
Okay, guys. See you again.